Good evening and welcome, everybody. How are you? Oh, I don't know if it's just my screen that's dusty or is it my camera that's dusty. I think it's both. I'm going to have to have a word with the wife. Sorry, I'm just unplugging my massage chair. I don't want to start having an orgasm as I'm in my massage chair while you're all watching me. So I'm trying to unplug it without breaking it. There you go, I've unplugged it. No, I've unplugged the wrong one. I might take off now. God knows what. I'll sort that out later. I don't want to be bending over, sorting out my massage chair. So, good evening, all. Graham Allison first in the house, and Tracy Dutt is a close runner-up. Not the tables, Carlos. Abigail French. Honestly, stop showing off, Abigail. It's not Abigail anyway, is it? Steve Pace is in the house. Fraser Hard is in the house. Not Tim Weston's in the house. Do you know, we've got many people here. So is there something on telly? Is there something more important than watching Chris Upton talk shit for an hour? Anyway, have you got a drink? Have you got a drink? I was listening to a... it's not been a very good week this week because, unfortunately, well, you have to, didn't you? We had to bury Sue's mum. And so she's not in the room at the moment. And it's been a little bit upsetting. Anyway, life tests us, doesn't it? Life tests us in so many different ways, doesn't it? And so I said to her about 2 minutes ago, I have not got a clue what to talk about. And because of the situation, I tend to have to listen to other stuff to get my mind off things, because there's nothing worse than seeing your loved ones upset. And Kate was upset, and Sue was really upset, and as they should be, as they should be. But what I'm saying is, I then tend to lie in bed listening to podcasts, trying to get my head down and get some kip and clear my head. And I don't know why. That bloke from Dragon's Den, the bloke from Plymouth, the coloured lad, or half-caste, whatever it was, or was, he did a podcast with a sex therapist. Now, it's not like I listen to everything about sex all the time, but I just thought, well, I want to kip for an hour. I'll just close my eyes and listen to that and just sort of clear my head a little bit, So I thought, so instead of dog training or looking at dog videos, I've had dog videos all week, and I've had people who sent me a video of a dog and it's doing really well. I said, it's now time to take the long line off the dog. Don't take the collar off the dog, raise collar. Just unclip the long line and just put an ordinary lead on the end of that long line. So there's a reason for that. It's because that long line, as Ray, is leather and it's reasonably heavy. And if you just put a piece of string around the dog's neck and you take off the long line that's been dragging, the dog's going to go straight back to what it was doing, because it's going to, I got freedom again. So you do it in stages, don't you? You tell the people what to do. And what's that saying? Don't say you've got a problem if you haven't followed what the dog trainer told you. I specifically said, it's now time to take that long line off the dog and shorten it. Do not take off Ray's line and collar. Then he sent me 2 videos going, the dog's gone straight back to being a little bastard again. Well, of course he is. It's not daft. You have to do it in stages. It's like sex, isn't it? If you're used to 12 inches, why do you want 6? See what happened then? More comfortable, Sue said. More comfortable. Anyway, that was one of the questions. Funny enough, she's now tapped into it. How many people don't like penetrative sex? How many women compared to men? Unbelievable. And I thought to myself, I'm listening to this podcast and I'm thinking, and he's asking questions and saying, is that why my relationship's not right? Is that why, is it because I'm in the bed on the iPad or on the telephone when we get into bed and there's no lovey-dovey, because I'm more interested in lying down when she wants to have a bit of rumpy bumpy, and there's me thinking about what I've got to freaking answer the questions on the iPad. Well, I'm sorry. but I'm not having it. You're not going to be sitting there having a fight, smoking on your freaking iPad when I'm in the bedroom with you, darling. Thanks, Trace. And so, like I said, the reason I told you, not that we're looking for sympathy, but it's been a bit of a horrible bloody week, really, to be honest with you. 4 minutes, that's the record. There you go, Steve.
I also said it's not even 9 o'clock yet.
It's not even no. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to clear my head of all the grief. You know, not being funny when you see all your family upset. Even us bloke, you know, can get emotional. You know, well, Kate's partner Gareth, he was there, and they started playing some music in the funeral. And I kept thinking, is my phone switched off? Is my phone switched off? And I thought, no, you didn't bring it, idiot, because you wouldn't have switched it off. Well, I've got Adele as a phone ringer, so the phone doesn't ring. Adele comes on, and what does she say, Sue?
Hello?
Hello?
It's me.
It's me. Imagine that in the funeral freaking parlour. I'll tell you what, I'd get some looks of shit, wouldn't I? But wouldn't it be funny? But at the time, it wouldn't be funny, would it? But what a sketch, wouldn't it? Your phone goes off, and it's Adele going, hello, it's me. Right? So Sue said she would laugh, but Sue was in pieces, and it was horrible to see. And you can't blame her. You can't blame you. And Kate was in pieces, and my arm wasn't long enough because I had to fucking stretch over 3 people. And it's upsetting for a bloke to see his loved ones upset. So that's why I said to you all, I've come on here tonight thinking, what the freaking hell am I going to talk about tonight? And to be honest with you, I've put on that Peter Crouch and Abby, what's the name, podcast. I don't know if any of you watch it. I put it on for a bit of light humour because it's light humour, and I think it's they talk about subjects of life and about loads of different topics. I quite like it, to be honest with you, because it's light entertainment, but it's true life. You talk about their pet apes, each other, the positive things, and they both got a nice bit of banter with each other. Well, it's the same with me and Sue, but Sue's a lot more reserved until you piss her off. Then she's a different person, so she sits back in the background. Wouldn't it be lovely if Sue was a bit like Clarence, Abby? Right? Wouldn't I be a lucky bastard? I could get away with that. No, she said, wouldn't Sue if she had Peter? No, he's too tall for her. She'd be looking up to him all the time. She doesn't want to look up to just any man. She looks up to me, but she'd be just looking up to Peter all the time. She'd be like that, wouldn't she? That's no good. So I actually listened to this podcast, and I was amazed at the statistics, and nobody wants to talk about it. So I thought, okay, we've got like 20 people in here, 23 people in here. Let's have an honest debate tonight. Let's ask the first question, and if we haven't got 24 answers, then I'm going to be very disappointed. Oh, we're all right now. Ailey's here. She's going to answer every freaking question. We're talking about sex, Ailey. Don't worry. You just came in on time, Ailey. I bet Karen said he's talking about sex before he's even started tonight, and he's come on here. Where's Karen? Anyway, so like I said, it's Karen on Ailey's. Oh no, and Ailey's listening now. Look, or is it Karen pretending he's Ailey? Honestly, people get cross-dressing. Do what you fucking want. I don't care. They've got another one in who does that, haven't we? Abigail French. He cross-dresses as well. Calls himself Abigail, doesn't he? What a brilliant video. What a brilliant video that they sent in. See, going off topic again. I bet someone just come in and go, freaking hell, that bloke don't stop. You go one direction, next direction, get back to the sex. That's what they're probably asking, isn't it? So like I was saying, I was listening to this podcast with the guy from Dragon's Den. So it's not like it's pervy, but he's talking to a sex therapist. Well, I honestly believe that's where I missed out in life. I should have been a sex therapist. I would have. It would have been a fantastic job for me. It would have been right up my street. You know, so the first question tonight, and there's 26 of you here, and I want to see 26 answers. Do you have it more than 3 times a week? I just want a yes or no. You don't need to give me fine detail on what you use. I just want to know, do you have it more than 3 times a week? So that's it. Not one freaking message. No one's got the bottle. You can't talk about, well, sex and violence is one of the biggest things watched on television, and yet they don't want to talk about it on here, on a live feed. I don't blame them, actually. Oh, we got some here. Well done. Evening, everybody. A bit late, Gary. Yes or no? You don't know what you're going to say yes or no for. Oh, thank God for that, Ailey. Thank God for that. No, says Steve. No, says Tim Weston. Bloody hell. And one of the things that I found was amazing, everybody, is this. That in the 60s, everybody knows it was the swinging 60s. Well, I was a bit young. I was a bit young to be swinging in the 60s because I was born in 61. So that would have made me a strange baby. So you could call me late 70s? Yeah, 70s. So late 70s. This podcast said that in the 60s, that was the busiest time for people having rumpy pumpy. We'll call it rumpy pumpy so we're not offending anybody, because you call it by that's right word, sex, right? We'll call it rumpy pumpy, shall we? So we don't offend anybody. So in the 60s was the busiest time, 70s, 80s, 90s, it started to drop off. And now, in today's generation, people have less sex than they've ever had since the 60s. Now, I don't know about the 50s and 40s and maybe the war and all that crap. I don't know. But they were talking about the podcast and they were saying that was the time. And it's dropped off and off and off and off. Unbelievable. Some of the statistics that they were talking about, I tell you, too many people listen to podcasts. Yes, Michael, you were spot on, mate. People have got too many distractions. When we in the 70s, we had a chalkboard and a bit of chalk, didn't we? If we had to write something down. We never had no communication. We never had phones. We never had that. You had to go and find a phone, and most of them had been pissed in, or there was cards in there, often sexual favours, wasn't there? In those, especially if you lived in London. I remember the first time I went to London, went into a London phone box. I thought, freaking hell, this is everyone leaves calling cards here. I'm free. Ring this number. You want this? You want that? Ring this number. I mean, those phone boxes used to educate you. I went to London to see the streets were paved with gold in the 70s. I did not realise that phone boxes were not used in the same way as they were in the Midlands. They pissed them in the Midlands, and every phone box you went in smelt of piss in Derby. I just think the public conveniences. I mean, nowadays you can't even see a phone box. You get a phone box, do you? 70s, 80s, best entertainment in bed. Exactly, Michael. So, if you wanted to speak to a sex therapist, who would be the best person to speak to? Somebody in the 70s. Somebody who lived and enjoyed life. You had to be a little bit careful you didn't catch AIDS until they fixed that shit. But, I mean, that scared the shit out of people for a while, didn't it? That put them off sex for a while. But at the end of the day, that 60s was liberated, wasn't it? And then come along the 70s, and then that frightened the shit out of them. But 80s, 90s, it was all right. Well, I think the more you watch these podcasts, the more you think, is it real? Is it real? So anyway, who wants to go back to dogs or who wants to talk about sex? Because I'm a man of the world. I'll talk about any subject you want. Is there anything on me anybody would like to talk about? Hey, feel free. But at the end of the day, I'm here to talk about dogs. Nobody really wants to. Anyway, we'll go back to Gary Marriott, shall we? So did you did you see the video, Gary? Did you see the video, the comments I made on the video? Hey? The French family did. The French family did. How about that? Yeah, so I think Michael listened to the same podcast because that's exactly what they said. Too many people listen to podcasts. Too many people taking all their problems home with them. Yes, I watched it earlier, no problem. Top therapists have practical knowledge. Therapists born in 50s, 60s. Best place to qualify. That's it. That's what I'm thinking, Michael. Instead of, in today's society, it's all, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You'll be ruining the world. You'll be destroying the ozone layer. Yeah. You're in your bed too long. And I think to myself, that is so important, isn't it, if you think about it? And that's why it's so important, everybody, to have a good mattress. because you spend half your time in bed. And those springs don't last forever. That's why they got memory foam now. So you remember the position you were in last time you had sex. Where before we used to have springs, didn't we? Keep them springs going. And you could hear your mother and father having sex in our day, couldn't you? Because you could hear the springs going and the headboard. But now it's memory foam. Everything's done on memory foam. So if you like the doggy position, all you got is handprints in the frigging bed. If you think about it, memory foam. And then you're lying there and all you can feel is a frigging handprint if you're trying to get to sleep because of the memory foam. So it's so important that you keep that mattress up and coming, prim and proper, as they say. Yeah, so should we go back to dog training, shall we? In case you all start off, look, you just lost somebody. You can always tell when you talk about a subject that offends people, they just drop off the live feed. I just don't want to be the same dog trainer as everybody else. Why should I be talking about dog training all the time? Dog training all the time it can be a little bit like monotonous because it's repetition. Anybody got any questions about dog training, please fire away. But most of you listen to me dog training anyway. And I just think you're just like a freaking bit of a freaking batter on here. I mean, it doesn't seem to be like directed at dog training for very long, does it? Before someone goes off on one, takes it down a different rabbit hole. I wonder if, in the 60s and 70s, they never had vibrators with a moving head, did they? With ears, did they? Remember that? They used to be like a bit primitive, a bit like what the Romans used. Anything goes here, Steve. Yeah, you're right, Steve. We've just get into anything. So there's a few girls in the house. Old is better than new. Cucumbers. Yeah, Ailey, whatever rocks your boat. And they're really good for my diet as well. They're really good for my diet. It's the simple things in life sometimes, Ailey, isn't it, that keep people going, isn't it? Simple things. People sometimes, baseball bats, Steve, stop it. Who have you been going out with, Steve? Baseball bats. Jesus Christ. I scored a pitch. I had a home run. Yeah, so I as a sex therapist, I think you've got these rampant rabbits now with so many speeds on them and so many freaking confusing buttons. Have you ever used one? Have you ever used one? It's the wrong freaking button and it freaking vibrates that much. It spins your freaking bed over. There's that many different settings on the freaking things. Just give me a simple vibrator. Not for me. Well, that's personal. That's personal. But I mean, the technology in them is unbelievable now. They come with a light on now. You never used to have a vibrator with a light on, did you? What? Couldn't you find a way in the tunnel? Are you a miner or something? I go down there with a canary. I'm just honestly, I think technology's gone freaking silly. You can get a vibrating phone out and work your sex toy from Ann Summers or whatever you call it. What's the name? Perfect. What's the name? What's that other one? What's the name? Secrets. Sue knows. What's that? Secrets, Sue? Victoria's Secrets. That's where we were the other day. I'll tell you, she was an hour and a half in there. No, she wasn't. She doesn't go in those shops. She has it delivered in a black paper bag, in a brown paper bag, with a different name on it. Want an old Nokia vibrates like a good one and battery lasts for a month. Exactly. Put that in your pocket, Ailey. You know where to put that, don't you? Yeah, that's it, Tim. Tim's a modern man. He knows that you can run some off a mobile app. That's what I was trying to say. These days, you can buy these things from that freaking shop and you can put them on your phone and you've got women walking down the road with eggs in. Jesus. I wonder they're smiling as they walk past you. It's titillating, isn't it, if you think about it? Technology. Remember those days when you had that dirty magazine? We talked about that the other day. Stop it, Fraser. Stop it. Calm down. And we used to have those magazines on the top shelf, and you were a kid, you couldn't even freaking reach them. Why put them on the top shelf? You had to get a freaking stepladder. And then they started putting them in brown paper bags, didn't they? Now they got freaking warning signs on them. Sex can cause problems. You may get pregnant. But what they need to do, they need to introduce something back into the system that makes people start having more sex again, because we're not having enough kids to carry on the world. We say we're like we're not going to bring any more immigrants over. We got nobody who's going to do any work. We're not got any kids who can go off and do these jobs. We're going to be no one to be looking after the old age pensioners, the old people in these homes in a minute, because nobody's having sex. Unbelievable. So dog training is irrelevant, really, when you think about the serious things in life that we're not talking about. This what it caused me a problem. It cost me half a house. This is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem. Selective breeding these days, making sure to produce snowflakes. Well, like I say, I was at the Sue's funeral yesterday. How many grandkids we got, Sue?
12.
We got 12 grandkids. They've done their bit. What about your kids? Have they done their bit? We got 12 grandkids just in our side. And then the rest of the family, they got grandkids. There was kids there. But isn't it funny how things are changing, isn't it? Low sperm count. Low sperm count? I tell you what, unbelievable. The more you use it, the more you produce. If you're not using it, it dries up. Ask any 50-year-old woman who's not having sex. Time them young ones got off the podcast and back to the bed. I have a pension to get back. A pension to get. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Exactly. But what other dog trainer is covering this subject for everybody live? Hey, you get really good value for money with me, don't you? Really good value. You can talk about anything. Gary says, sorry to hear about your mum, Sue. Yeah, stop it, Gary, because every time somebody puts her arm around us or says something nice, it gets emotional. So that's what I said. I'm talking about a load of bollocks tonight. How about that? Let's talk about time them young ones got off. Oh, we've done that one, haven't we? We've done that one. So I listen to podcasts, but I don't just listen to dog training. And I think if you're obsessed with dog training and you do nothing but dog training, I think too much of one thing could not be a good thing. I think even at my age now, I've learned that the quality of sex is more important than the quantity of sex. You know, it's not about the tools you've got. It's a good workman never blames his tools. He just gets on with it. Now, wouldn't it be lovely if I could sit here one side and Sue could sit the other side and she could talk about the same subjects as I do? She's in the background going, you can fuck off. You can fuck off. No, I love the fact that Sue is private and she keeps things to herself. Me, I just fucking got an open gob, haven't I? And my mind just races sometimes and I talk shit. Well, I talk about things that other people perhaps don't talk about. So I don't know, but you know, years and years back, they used to put chastity belt on the wife, didn't they? If you went off to war, or you know, you were out on a rampage, you used to put a chastity belt and put a lock on it, didn't you? So when you come back, if the lock was still there, Sue's lovely. Gary, stop it. Stop it. You're being too nice to her. She is lovely. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. Yeah, so blessed. See what's happening now? You've made me upset now. I'm trying to get my freaking head around just being a toss again tonight and getting everything out of my head. What's happened over the last few days? And then I got one of our members on Patreon. I think he pays a £5. I think he pays a £5. He may pay a tenner. If he does, fine. But I think he pays a £5. But I get more messages from him than I do from the Pakistani phone calls that come through every day. I get more messages on my phone from him, pinging. I didn't take my phone because I have to switch it off anyway. So I didn't go to the funeral with the phone. I didn't, and there's no way that I can sit there and not forget not to switch it off. I've got freaking videos coming through or questions or like non-stop. Anyway, I won't mention the guy's name because I don't want to embarrass him. And I'm being totally honest and open here. And if you're one of those guys, listen, you haven't bought me. Not me, is it? Fraser Hind. Not me, is it? I'm not saying who it is, but I'm reaching out as I'm an honest guy. I don't mind helping people. I love helping people. But if you talk to me non-stop, and you'll know if it's you because you're talking to me non-stop, you have to realize I have a life as well, you know. And send me the videos, give me a few days, ask the questions, and I'll get back to you and I'll do a feedback for you. But you've not bought me. I can't be at service 24 hours a day. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you're the only person on the internet contacting me and I could reach out and help you? What you don't realize is because I'm well known on Patreon, some people like me, some people don't like me, as I've been told this week on a live podcast. You either hate him or you love him. He's like bloody Marmite. He's like a battered Mars bar. Because it was two Scotsmen talking about me. And that's what you have to accept. People think you are their personal dog trainer, and you don't have any of have other cars. You're dead right, Gary. But the thing is, if you don't say nothing and you just curse it in your head, then you're not being honest, are you? But you have to say it. And don't get me wrong. You've got videos. Send me the video. I'll get through them eventually, and I'll get them up. I'll do voiceover. I'll spend the time. I'll watch them. Some of them are good. Some of them are shit. Some of them are a waste of time. Not worth putting up. Would I contact you back and go, listen, mate, that was a load of shit? No. But you'll know whether they're worth putting up because I'll put them up. If I'm not putting your videos up and you send me a video every 5 minutes, I am not your personal trainer. You don't pay me enough. Simple as that. I mean, I don't mind being a personal trainer. If you're sort of 26, 27, you're sexy, you've got a good figure. You've got to be careful here. We've got to be careful here because, hang on, Chris, hang on. What's a good figure? Could you define a good figure? No, I'm not going to define a good figure because they all come in different shapes and sizes, don't they? And everybody to their own, isn't it? But what I'm saying is, like, wouldn't it be wonderful if I was being plagued by a younger woman who just couldn't get enough of me? A younger woman. Now, I'm not having a go at some of you girls on here. A younger woman, I said. No, I love. What did somebody called me the other day? Sexist, didn't they?
Yeah.
He's sexist. I said, hang on.
You've always been called sexist.
Hang on. No, what did I say with the word? What I said, and I had to look it up. Misogynist. That's it. Misogynist. Sexist or misogynist. Now, a sexist is someone who don't like women. Well, I'm sorry. I have to freaking bite my lip sometimes because I've got the gift of the gab and I can pull the birds, ladies, in my early days like no business. These days, I'm very content with what I've got. I love my wife dearly and I'm not looking for any fling or anything on the side. But wouldn't it be wonderful if I had 30, 40 gorgeous looking girls follow me instead of you 6? Now, that doesn't mean you 6 aren't gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. But 30 or 40, there'd be a bit of competition, wouldn't there? And if I've only got 2 girls coming on every evening on a Wednesday, I mean, I'm having to behave myself just to keep you. So you can imagine, can't you? We have a bit of a banter, but I never get really personal or seedy. That's the word, isn't it? Like, hello, darling. How you doing, darling? I act like a professional, and I want to act like a professional because that person over there really matters to me. And if I was like chatting up and having affairs with people on the side, then that would let in my darling wife down unless she wants a break for sex. See how that goes straight back into that again, see, because that's the whole point, isn't it? So listening to this sex therapist, I'm a freak. I'm a freak of nature, girls. And I'd wear you out. As simple as, do you think I'd wear them out, Sue? Nah, she says, nah. See, she doesn't want to give nothing away, does she? A woman never tells, as they say. Blokes, terrible, aren't we? Just say it as it is, don't we? You're a victim of the old saying, if you want something doing, ask a busy person. I thought you said busty then. In dyslexic, Graham. And there's a love art in front of what your comment at the bottom where I am. And I thought you said ask a busty person. I thought, Jesus Christ, don't go down there about measuring the size of someone's breast. Do you look at him in the eye, or do you look at their breast? So yeah. So what I'm saying is, going back to that, and I'm joking in a light-hearted way, but I'm being serious as well. Just think about it. If anybody's out there thinking, oh, I've managed to get his phone number, I've managed to get his private chat line, and I'm going to plague the shit out of him for like the rest of his freaking life for my £5 a week. Not being funny. If I was your personal trainer, I'd be there 24/7. I'd have to say, not tonight, darling. I'm needed. I'm having to get into the Batmobile and go and help someone who's really bought my services. But no, have a little bit of heart and think, hang on, how many times does this bloke want to be answering my questions? You know, how long should the lead be, and what position should it be in? And you could put all them in one sentence, couldn't you? Hang on, Michael. I love you being on here. There's a difference between sexes. I'm not even fucking saying it. I'm dyslexic. I've said it just. And a bit risque. Difference is the ability to identify humor. Exactly. There's a difference between using a little bit of, we call it titillation where I come from. There's nothing wrong with a bit of titillation, but I don't like it when I go in Sue's bookies and she's on the counter and people go in and go, all right, me darling, how you doing, me darling, me love, all right, me darling. I thought, she's not my darling, she's my darling. And that's because I'm a jealous bastard. I can't help it, can I? I'm a jealous bastard. But Sue don't mean nothing by it. It just flips across her head. But I'd go, I'm not your fucking darling. You're being too personal. But it might just be me, touchy. Feely. No, that's not the word I should be using. It feely. Sometimes Sue comes home and she doesn't say very much. Sometimes she comes home and she starts telling me about what someone said about at work. I go, what? In a bookies? You sit there fucking talking to people. No, this is they come up to the counter sometimes. There must be some lonely people. You were two gentlemen when I've been to see you for lessons. Thank you, Trace. That really matters. That does really matter. Thank you. That's really nice. And it matters because I can be chatty. I can be friendly. I can be compliment. I'll give you a compliment without meaning anything by it other than a compliment. And at the end of the day, I treat everybody who comes here in the same way. Everybody who comes here in the same way. And I think that's the only way. And I think that's the only way that you should run your life and your business. I mean, listen to that Peter Crouch and that Abby Clancy thing tonight before I came on, because I just wanted to clear my head of all the stuff that's been happening and what we've been talking about since Sue's mom's gone. And one of the things they said is he prays at night, says a prayer every night before going to bed. At the end of the day, I know blokes who do that and they're not religious. And they just like close their eyes and they tell me that I just pray she's up for it tonight. I think it's terrible if you can't, but a compromise, because life is a compromise, isn't it? Life is a compromise. And it's the same with dog training. If you're obsessed with dog training, you're always going out and you're just dog training and you're not looking after your family and you're not looking after your missus, you're not giving the missus what she needs: love, attention, affection. And I am an old softy at heart, and I watched Camelot, King Arthur, and in that song with Richard Harris, Merlin said, "Never try and understand what a woman's thinking. They don't do it very often." Well, I use that on a regular basis, and trust me, that gets you in a lot of fucking trouble in certain places when you say that. Yeah, it wasn't said in a nasty way, and he says in that in Camelot, and he says it in the song. All you have to do is love her, and if you give the right love, and that's what I've been doing every night. And Sue says that's not what they meant. No, but that's being a romantic, isn't it? And if you can love your partner, or you love your partner, and this isn't being nasty or babyish or silly, but worship your partner. You're a lucky person, aren't you? If your wife worships you, you're a lucky person. And Sue saw some of her cousins yesterday, and she'd been very upset, and then they were having a reception afterwards, and she said, see him there, that's the best thing that happened to me when I met him. It made me so proud with her saying that. And I wasn't being slimy or crap. I said, I love her more every day. Aren't I lucky, everybody? Aren't I lucky in reality? And then you've got people doing podcasts going, he's a misogynist or he's a freaking a womanator. You're dreaming. You're actually talking out your arse. You've actually thought that yourself. It's not my fault. There is some weird women out there with some weird ideas in life. Because I know personally, majority of women who are not insane, if they knew the sort of person I am in reality, they would know I'm a caring bloke, wouldn't they, Sue?
Yeah.
Exactly. But I have to live with the shit that, he's opinionated. Nobody freaking likes him. I've been married 30 years plus, and she's a legend. Exactly. She must have put up with me. And you know what, Gary? That's what we love our wives or partners for, putting up with our shit as well. But then again, back to Abby and Crouchy, there was a thing on there tonight that we listened to about how many times in a relationship is you're watching television and the wife asks you about the film, or something like that. And like, if you look at your phone and you're not watching the film, you're missing it, aren't you? And it's like, and Sue's a detective, because she, halfway through the film, she starts telling me what's going to happen at the end. I don't want to know what's happening at the end. I'm in this film in my own head, and I want to watch it without Sue telling me who's done the murder, who's going to get shot. But it's funny because when Crouchy and Abby was talking about on the live podcast, and we never had this before, did we? We never had podcasts where you could go on and listen to stuff. We've got such access now to shite as well as good stuff. And it's so funny how different men are to women, isn't it? What do they say? Men from Mars and women from Uranus? Oh, no, Venus. Stop it. Behave yourselves. She be garried. You didn't know where the tea bags were today. Oh, my God. He wasn't teabagging again, was he? What was he up to? Tim, we talked about that on the live feed on Sunday, teabagging. We're not talking about teabagging on here. It's too delicate. He didn't know where the teabag. That woman known how to ignore the immunity. Yeah, why should we grow up, Michael? Why should we grow up? Why can't we be what we are? Why can't we have that silly side of us? Like, it's the same as like that Crouchy thing they were talking about. If I've got a rash or something like that, I don't get a rash very often, so I haven't got any venereal diseases or anything like that. Or I get a sore or something like that. I say to Sue, have you got some of that magic cream you got? Because she's got some pots that are about this big. And if I go in there when she's not in there, I go like that to get a little tiny bit out, and a great big freaking wad comes off, and I think, shit. I don't need all that. And I'm freaking trying to put it back. Where she comes out and gives me the slightest, the tiniest squirt of cream you can imagine. But the cream she's got is so good, it clears up anything. That doesn't sound right, does it? I mean, it fixes the skin, the cracks on the skin, or odd skin, or whatever. You know what you got. I'm just fucking, honestly, I'm not talking about around any sexual parts. I'm talking about on my face or on my eye or on my arm or something like that. She's catering manager and bloody good at it. Exactly, Gary. There comes a point, isn't there? There comes a point. But do you know what? It's funny. Some women like looking after their man. Some women like being at home. Sue loves cleaning. I go out when she cleans because she's like a freaking whirlwind. But when I come home, it's beautiful. But she's like a whirlwind. And if I'm at home, in her head, she doesn't say nothing. She doesn't say, Chris, can you fuck off? Can you go do something while I want to clean the house? She just never says anything. But when I'm gone, I come back in and all of a sudden, I think, you know, everything's moved. Everything's moved. I bet so many of you blokes have this at home, didn't you? You put something you know it's going to be. You come back, the missus has cleaned up and moved it, and she's put it in a cupboard somewhere. And she puts it in a different cupboard the next time she freaking moves it. So you don't go, oh, I know what, she would put that in that cupboard. She's decided to empty that cupboard, clean that cupboard, and change it all round without telling you. So I'm walking around the freaking house thinking, where the freaking hell's that? This is the thing. We are so incapable, like not. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? We are so different. We're like cat and dog compared to dog and dog, or cat and cat. And at the end of the day, us dogs, as long as we are getting a basic, easy life, we're happy, aren't we? But it's the cats. It's the cats that run the place, isn't it, really? Deep down, it's the cats. They're clever. They're sneaky, aren't they? You can't outdo a cat if it don't want to freaking know, does it? Hey, this is the thing, isn't it? But I'm so lucky.
It must be a bit like the Springer and the Cocker, isn't it?
Yeah, Springs and Cockers, Sue says, like that. So some have got a sense of humour, some haven't. but it's funny, isn't it? It's like happy wife, happy life. Yes, Steve, I agree, but there's got to be a compromise to a certain extent. It ain't going above that compromise that I'm willing to compromise.
Otherwise, they take over.
Men are easy to please. Well, I am, anyways. Yeah, opposites attract. Yeah, I think opposites do attract, Steve. Yeah, I think they do. I said this on our live feed on Sunday. We went shopping in town. Wait for something to eat, didn't we? What did we do? Oh no, we met up. Yeah, we met up for something to eat. The family, because they were all down because of the funeral. So we went for. They were all down for a few days before. So we met up the family in Plymouth. We couldn't book anywhere else, so we went into Plymouth and to a big restaurant in Plymouth and met up there. And when we come out of the restaurant, we were all going to go somewhere, but it wasn't that. Cool. It goes into the shopping centre, the indoor shopping centre, and Kate and Sue decides she needs some makeup. So Kate and Sue go in the freaking makeup shop. What was it called?
I don't know.
The big makeup shop you went in with Kate.
Boots or the other one? I can't remember.
She can't remember.
Go in there very often.
Oh, she don't go in there very often. She doesn't go in there very often. Right. She doesn't when I'm in freaking town with her. Right. Anyway, she goes in there. I sit outside, right outside the shop, and I say, "So I'll wait here." So they go in. So I'm sitting on a seat.
You didn't say, "I'll wait here."
Oh, I didn't say I'll wait here. I just thought I'd walk off and leave them. No, they knew that they were going in the shop. I sat on the seat outside and waited for them. Nearly an hour. And then all of a sudden, they came out the shop as if they were two shoplifters legging it from the store, talking non-stop, walking unbelievably fast up the freaking shopping mall with about 30,000 freaking people. Understanding each other, mind, body, and soul. Well, I didn't understand this one, Jules. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, hello, I'm here. Hello, I'm here. And they've gone. They've literally, Linford Christie couldn't have kept up with them. I thought, where's the store detective? How come he's not coming out after them? No, she's never nicked anything in her life, but it just looked like it. If you're filming it, you think, freaking hell, they're in a getaway. Where's the car? They were legging it up through the freaking. They were walking 3 times faster than everybody else, but they were talking non-stop because Kate and Sue, my daughter and Sue, talk non-stop. I think I talk non-stop. I have to on these live feeds. That's no one would they? So anyway, I'm going, Sue! At the top of me freaking voice, people are turning around thinking they're freaking nutter. And she's freaking like eventually sees me after about 7 screams through this freaking shopping centre. And she slows down. I catch up with her. I go, I need to go to the toilet. Because I've been sitting on a freaking seat for freaking nearly an hour where I'm freaking picking makeup, lippy. So this is a rant, isn't it? If you think about it, guys, this is a rant. Would you do that to your wife? Would you say, I'm just going to this freaking games shop or computer shop or men's freaking tie shop and leave them outside for a freaking hour and then come out the shop and forget they left them there like a lost dog? So they don't think it's funny. I didn't think it was funny. I just thought, I can't believe this. So then I goes, I need to go to the toilet. All right. So they stood there in the centre of the shopping place with loads of people coming past them. It's quite claustrophobic in them places, isn't it? If you don't go in them all the time. So it goes in the toilet, comes out the toilet. They've gone again. They've actually gone again. So I stand outside for another 10 minutes and that's it. That's it then. I've thrown me freaking toys out the pram, guys. I have done a freaking route march right back down the bottom of the end of town and gone to the shops I wanted to go to. There you go, Gary. You're not a modern man, are you? You're not a modern man if you think about it. You don't do shopping. You're sensible, but you're not a modern man. No wonder blokes are freaking breaking avoid town and shops. See what I'm saying? So girls, I go shopping with women. What shopping? And all these blokes, they're the ones who are clever. Never go shopping with a woman. I go shopping with me and Sue. And I go, I'll see you and wait for you. So, come in changing room. Come to the changing room. I want you to look at it and tell me what you think. I'm not wearing it. You can wear what you like. But no. What do you think? I don't want to get it if you don't like it. Do you really think that's the truth? Honestly, girls, tell me. You need to tell me, girls, if I'm out of order here or am I just a typical man? What? The day I go, fucking hell, that looks crap on you. Fucking hell, I get offended. No. Because I'm a bit like that Got Wong. Got Gwong, innit? Got Wong? Gong Wong. Got Wong. Got one. No, that's someone else, isn't it? I try and be a modern man. I like going shopping with the wife, but not with freaking daughter and the wife. I've learned a serious lesson. Next time she says, Dad, we're going in town shopping, I go, take your freaking mother. Shopping is done on my phone, gets delivered to my doorstep. Definitely the secret to a hood marriage is avoid the shopping. 28 years, won't attend that one. I get Fiona to put it on her list when she goes. Exactly. You guys have got it sussy. That's why I'm stressing out. I should have had this podcast freaking weeks ago, months ago, years ago, and you would have said, don't freaking do it, Chris. You can't win. Wherever you go, you can't win. So now we got mobile phone, haven't we? We're like a dog on a lead. A long extendable lead. The freaking phone goes and they go, where are you? I go, I'm down the bottom of town. Where? Well, you'd know if you were fucking with me. But you went off doing your own thing. Oh, we're coming down. What did Chris do? Go to the top of town. Phone goes, where are you? Top of town. We've just come down from the top of town to the bottom of the town. Now you know what I feel like. There you go, Fraser. You got it, mate. You could have waited in the pub. Exactly. I don't mind if they tell me what they're doing. I don't mind if they say, listen, sit there, Chris, because you're not going to like the makeup counter. How do they know I don't like the makeup counter? In Dingles, I love the makeup counter because they've got the expensive aftershave. I can go around testing the expensive aftershave. I never buy it. I just like walking around looking at the girls on the counter. They've got that much makeup on. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I think, Jesus Christ, it must have took you 2 hours to put your makeup on. you're lippy on this morning. I like a girl who can get ready within about 5 minutes. Sue needs about 20 minutes. She looks really nice when she does it, but she needs about 20 minutes. I can't push her. I can't push her. I can't force her. I could go and sit in the car. She'd leave me there. I could open the gate, sit in the car, rev the engine, bang the horn. She's not coming out of that fucking house until she's ready. Now, she doesn't take 3 hours to get ready like some people. I went out with a girl years and years and years ago, and it took her 2 hours to get ready. And she looked stunning when I met her in the nightclub or in the pub, whatever it was. I can't remember. I met her and decided to go out together. She said, "Come round." And I sat in her house while she put her fucking makeup on and did her makeup. At that point, after about an hour and a half, I thought, this is a no-go. After today, we will not be seeing each other, because there's no way that I have got the patience to wait 2 hours while someone puts their fucking makeup on. I would say I'll meet you here at so-and-so time. I don't care how long it takes to get ready, but that was a culture shock to me, because I don't think blokes, not majority of blokes, do they? Especially in my day, needed 2 hours to get ready before you go out. I mean, let's be honest. You've suddenly sat on the settee, you've got a day off, and you think, oh, let's go to town or let's go shopping. How long does it take you, lads, to get ready? Is it grab the keys and put your fucking shoes on? Look at yourself in the mirror, some of you, like, oh, I'm looking all right. And then off you go. Or do you have to have a shower? You know, pluck your eyes, clean your ears, push off your shoes, and then you go out. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm trying to learn here. I'm trying to be a modern man. I don't want to be classed as a misogynist or a sexist. I'm trying to be a modern seconds, Kieran. Exactly, Ailey. Exactly. A man's man. A man's man. That's what I like, a man's man. I can get ready to go out in 10 minutes. And he's got no freaking hair. There you go. That's with doing me hair. That's the polish. That's the shine, is it? Shower and shave straight on straight out. Exactly, Steve. So there again, look how different. I need to brush my hair. Abigail, no, that's not Abigail. That's Joe, everybody. If Abigail said, I need to brush my hair, that's Joe, and he ain't got no hair. But if it was Abigail, I'd go, yes, Abby, I understand completely. Most women should. If I'm not saying they should, that's a sexist bastard again, see? No, most women would. They would, wouldn't they? And it's nice, isn't it, that your partner wants to look nice when she goes out. Now, you get yourself into trouble, don't you? Is she looking nice for you, or is she looking nice so other people can see that she's nice? Or is she looking nice to make herself feel nice? That's another subject, isn't it? That us blokes can get into serious shit if we freaking try and analyze it, because we shouldn't analyze anything, because you're going to get yourself into shit, aren't you? But the difference is, right scruff he's ready for anything within a minute. It would be the same if he was meeting the king. Yeah, why not? Ailey, I'm with him. I mean, some days I like doing my hair and other days I don't. I just came on here as I was. I just rough and ready. But some girls like somebody rough and ready, don't they? Some girls want prim and proper. What does it mean with Abigail said to? I'm dyslexic, help me here.
It's correct. It's got a V in it, that's all.
All right, so that's just thrown me, and that's acceptable. Correct with a V in it. Thank you. Graham, exactly. I am as well. I'm with Karen. If I want to go somewhere, I want to do something, same as going in town. If I want to go in a shop, I go to town, I go in the shop that I want to go in. I don't go in. We've done it with shoes the other day. Rough and ready. Tracy, my daughter girl. I keep telling you, stop it, Trace. Rough and ready. You've never looked rough. You're always ready. I want to prim. I'm definitely prim and proper, says Gary Matt. Well, you're perfect. See, this is the problem with Gary. He's just perfect, isn't he? He wants to be perfect because he's known as Mr. Perfect, and so he wants to be prim and proper. But I say each to their own. Each to their own. But I know that when I go shopping, I'm going to the shops I want to go. But we went shoe shopping the other day, and I don't know if I said it on here. We went in the same shoe shop about 4 times because you go in that shop. Oh, I'm not sure. Let's go somewhere else and try. Do you like that? Yeah, I like it. Want to get it? No, I don't want to get it. We go somewhere else. Then you go back to that same fucking shoe shop, look at the same fucking pair of shoes again, and say, "Oh, I'm not quite sure now." Oh, let's go back to that fucking other shop that we went to. And in me, I just go in a shop. If I need a pair of shoes and I like them, I buy them. If I want them. If I see a top I like, I buy it. You know, sometimes I try it on, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just think, yeah, I just want the biggest fucking size you've got. And then I come home and she goes, it's too small for you. It goes in the cupboard. I don't fucking take it back because I think I'm going to lose weight. We're not going to talk about my weight this week. I've lost another bag of sugar. Another bag of sugar in a fucking week. But we weren't going to talk about that. We were going to not talk about my weight and upset everybody. I'm just fading away in front of you. But I've lost another bag of sugar. To lose a bag of sugar in a fucking week, is it worth it? We went to the, you know, you go to the funeral, they got that spread on, don't they? The wake. Is it wake? Is it Sue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everyone's fucking stuffing themselves with fucking pasties, pies. There's some real skinny people there, and I've never seen how many people pile up a fucking plate at a funeral. You think everyone would be upset? No, I think they just turned up for the buffet. Some of them. And okay, it was our family who started the buffet. Everybody doesn't want to go to the buffet, do they, at the funeral, until one person freaking opens up the fucking first lot of sandwiches that's all covered up in it and all that, like. And then all of a sudden, there's a freaking stampede. I've never seen a stampede like it. This is funny, everyone. This is funny. So Kate's sitting next to me, and Sue's chatting, and I've got all the family around me, and we're chatting. We're just chatting. And Sue knows I can't eat nothing unless it's freaking meat or protein. I can't eat freaking bread. I can't eat pasties. Well, you've ever been to a Cornish a funeral without pasties? There's so much freaking cake and pasties and freaking pastry and carbohydrates and oh, it's unbelievable. So anyway, I'm sitting there looking at everyone eating, thinking, you jammy bastards. Sue comes along. I said, you need to get something to eat, sweetheart, because you've been upset. I said, I want you to get something to eat. And I got her a glass of wine. So didn't want her to drink and not have anything to eat because you don't eat, do you, when you're not very well, when you're feeling very sad. And Sue went up and she came back with a plate with some cheese and pineapple. I'm not supposed to have the pineapple because it's sweet, isn't it? But some cocktail sausages as well on a plate, and everyone looked at me like fattest bastard in the freaking place. And he's got a freaking rabbit. It's not even rabbit food. He's just got a plate of cheese and freaking a couple of cocktail sausages. And Gareth, Kate's partner, said, "How did you do that?" I said, "How did you do what?" And I looked at the freaking cheese and the sausages. How did you get Sue to go up and get that? I said, "Just training." He looked at me. He said to Kate, "Kate," she said, "you can fuck off." It was so funny. They broke the atmosphere with a bit of humor, and let's be honest, that's what you needed, isn't it? He said, I don't understand how you didn't do it once, Chris. You did it twice, because when you ate that, she come across, picked your plate up, went off and got another plate. I said, didn't want to lose my seat. No. He said, she'd never do that for me, Kate. I said, she would if you trained her right. So, isn't it funny how men and women think, isn't it? If Sue was sitting in that fucking seat and she was upset and she was going to eat, I'd go up there and get something for her. I wouldn't hesitate. Isn't it funny how people are, oh, I'm not doing that. You can go on your freaking own. My daughter, she's.
Yeah, but Kate did it purpose because she knew he was going to try it on.
Oh, she knew he was going to try it on. He's not even trying it on. He's had a hard freaking day at work. He's sitting there talking to me. He don't want to lose his seat. No, he's been working all week, and he come along and he was there and he was supportive. And at the end of the day, it's like you can fucking go and get your own food. I just thought, looking unreal, isn't it? That's better than gaining. Oh yeah, it is, isn't it, Gary? You're right. Fuck's sake, Chris, that was describes my shopping habits to a T. Exactly, Michael. And us blokes, we're very similar, aren't we? Most blokes. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Did you see what Michael said, sir?
Yeah.
Lovely. You know what? It's so nice that you guys, we shared it with you because it's been a horrible few days. It's not been very nice at all. And you don't know how you're going to react, do you? Until it happens. Some people, I've known people who've never got over the death of their parents. Blokes, I know blokes who it's broken them. Death of the mother, and it affects us all differently, doesn't it? But life goes on, and she reached a good age, didn't she, Sue?
Yeah.
And she wasn't ill for a long period of time.
No,
So
gone within 3 days.
got within 3 days of actually being ill. So it would be, not being funny, we'd take that, me and Sue, that age, reasonably healthy, got all your faculties together. You're not gaga, you're not in a freaking home pushed around and don't know where you are. And the nicest thing is, she kept a sense of humour, a dry wit, right to the end. And she didn't let them those nurses rule her in that home, and she didn't like it. She didn't like it, but she let them know, didn't she, Sue?
And the dementia ones as well.
What about the dementia ones?
Well, they should just walk in a room. She said, "Get it."
Yeah, that was it. The people with dementia just walked into a room, thought they were she was a wife or sister or
leave my tissues alone.
Leave my tissues alone. Get out of my room and all that. She was strong will right to the end. But I think that yes, we lose people, don't we? But it's the memories that live on. It's the memories that live on, and that's so important, isn't it? If you die tomorrow, do people remember you for being that cheerful, that joyful, that caring, that loving person, or was it that miserable bastard who could do nothing but freaking slag people off? At the end of the day, I don't think you should go out of your way to be something that you're not. But I see it with our group, I see it with our group. I know not all of you belong to the group, but a lot of you do. We just got such a rapport with the group. We're just a friendly bunch of people who have a bit of a laugh. And on the odd occasion, you might say something that you don't know might offend another member of the group slightly, but they've not taken it to heart. They've just realized that you don't know that they're married to 3 Pakistani women and it was an arranged marriage. At the end of the day, each to their own. Some people got mixed relations, some people got mixed, not with the kids, some people got new partners and all this sort of stuff. We're not into like delving deep into what's your life and who you're with and what you've been up to, but be who you are. Exactly, Gary. No bitching in the group. Exactly. And that's what's so nice about that group, isn't it? And I've got to be honest, and if he's watching, he's watching. I've had the Mad Scotsman freaking contact me 3 times this week. The Mad Scotsman. And you know who we're talking about. I'm not going to mention his name, but you know who we're talking about. And he wants to rejoin the group. He wants to come back in. I'd love him to come back in. But if he kicks off with his drink problem like he does, and he turned as nasty as he did, and went around slandering me to other dog trainers in the country, I just don't want him in the group. I'm not bitchy. I'm not.
He's a bit like Harry. Once you're out, you're out. You don't get back in.
Hear that? Hear that with Sue? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's typical Sue. You piss Sue off, and she don't want you back in. She don't want nothing to do with you. She's got that strong willpower there. With me, I'm a lot more forgiving, aren't I, Sue?
You are, but no. Once you're out, you're out.
No, but when she attacked him on the phone, like after he said what he said, she read him the riot card, and I'm sorry. No, that's it. You've upset the wife. I know where my bread and butter's buttered, and I know that when she does freaking say something, she means it, and that's the difference, isn't it? That is the difference. He contacted me a few weeks ago. I think he contacted Michael too. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you don't need to contact me.
Well, like Sue says, we don't want him in here, so she makes the decision in this house. I'm just the freaking porter. I just do everything she says.
No, my second word wouldn't be off.
And me and Gary too. Yeah. And the problem is, if it's down to each individual, isn't it? But I know that you upset somebody, in our family. Sue is like a freaking Rottweiler. She is so defensive and caring and protective towards her loved ones, her family. You turn against Sue like that, you see a different person, I'll tell you. And isn't it funny, that meek and mild person? With me, I freaking say it as I see it. If I think you're a shit, I'll say you're a shit. If you've done something to upset me, I'll say, listen, you've pissed me off. And you know exactly where you stand with me. But Sue's not a smiling assassin. But God help me if you hit the wrong freaking side of her.
No, I think we gave him enough rope, but unfortunately, he just hung himself, didn't he?
Oh, see what she said? Never upset Mummy Bear. You're right there, Daddy Bear. Steve Morton said, "I love to Sue and respect to Kristen. Sounds like a lady has had a good life." Exactly, Steve. Yeah, she has. Yeah. And to be honest with you, she didn't want to be in that home. She reached the end of life, and we were talking about this the other day. And I'm not being nasty in any way. You wouldn't let a dog suffer if they just didn't want to be alive, would you? If your loved one, your dog, is in pain, you're going to have to make that decision, aren't you? Well, I don't think she was in pain, but she didn't want to. She didn't want to carry on, did she?
No.
She didn't want to live in that lifestyle, did she? In that where she had a lovely little home, yeah, a lovely little home of her own. It was only for the fact that she became completely. She needed non-stop assistance because of mobility. It's the quiet ones that you need to be careful for. I think it is, Gary. I think it is. I think sometimes it's the same as the dogs, empty vessels make more noise, don't they? And some of those dogs that bark and freaking like all full of themselves, really, they're soft as shit underneath. But the skill is to address each dog individually. And I think that's the same as people, isn't it? Individually. I could say something that someone could take offense by. I'd rather them say to me, listen, Chris, I know you perhaps didn't mean it, but that bothered me, that did. I'd be the first to apologize or take it down, because I don't go out of my way to piss people off. Anyway, you've had an hour. We're talking about crap again, aren't we? Well, that's not crap, is it? Not crap. Life, really. Life. I went slightly off the subject of the sex because I didn't want to sort of drag anybody into sort of any personal questions, because it's back to that same scenario, isn't it? I don't mind talking about subject of sex, but I'm not talking about private things in sex. I'm not telling you that I love leather, PVC. Oh shit, I just did. Anyway, on that note, I'm going. Not much dog training, but loads of good life skill advice. Bollocks you all. Yeah, bollocks you all. Thanks for listening to me and Sue. Well, me opening up. Do you know what? It's good to talk, and I appreciate you being in here. And I think sometimes by opening up and saying what you feel, it gets it off your chest, doesn't it, a little bit? And I've not mentioned it tonight to upset my darling wife, but that's part and parcel of life, isn't it? Having to cope with horrible situations. But why is it horrible? Because of the love you've got for those parents, the love you've got for your family, in it. So stay strong, look after each other, and be nice to your wife and your girlfriend. And if not, I might come round. Yeah, right. Catch you all later. Stay strong. Bye-bye.